Microphone check. Microphone check. Therapy without a degree. Chapter, I think we chapter 186, 187, something around there. Yeah, a lot of episodes. A lot of episodes, yo. So, okay, guys, it is just myself today. We do not have Zane today. It's actually his mom's birthday. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Zane's mom's birthday. I'm gonna give her some air horns. All right, give some air horns to her. All right. And then we have a very special guest in the building. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Should I? Okay. My name is Jessica. I go by Joss Speaks Digital. I am a digital media SME, which means subject matter expert, and a maternal health advocate and mom of 6. So I'll make sure I throw that in there because a lot of people like to pull that back up.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Mom of 6. Wow, that's fire. That is super, super fire. So what's going on with you today? How's your day going?
Good. It's been really busy this week. How about yours?
Yeah, no, it's been busy so far as well. Trying to start the Monday off right. I started a new diet today, so we're trying that. Shout out to the book Eat Smarter. Some of my people know that I've been getting ready to start that. Started that today. We just got back from the gym. But yeah, so you've been busy. You've been running around like crazy and stuff.
Not running around physically, but virtually, yes. Digitally,
okay.
Running around, absolutely.
Well, virtual. You said virtually or no?
Yeah, virtually. Yeah. Like just all over the internet, basically.
So you do a lot of this. Have you been doing a lot of the Zooms?
Yeah, Zoom, a lot of Clubhouse, a lot of just reels and trying to get my digital presence up because I've been spending so much time behind the scenes. Now I'm just trying to pull myself to the forefront and do more of my own brand building.
Now you've been working. Like you've been working. I'm like, yo, I see you. I be paying attention to the people that be working. And you're definitely one of those. You're grinding out here. You're definitely grinding.
Man, bruh.
And then with 6 kids, yo. That right there is like that's just powerful in itself. Just for the fact of everything you're doing and 6 kids. That's crazy. That's
on
dope.
top of, right? And my husband makes 7, so yeah.
So and you're good too with the, you don't even have to probably mute it back and forth because we're just gonna be kicking it. It's like
okay.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to have the background.
No, it's all good. I know how that goes. But so okay. First of all, before we even get into a topic, I just want to know, like, yo, I bet all the time, like, people come up to you and they're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't got time for this. And then you're just like, 6 kids. Right? Like, does that come up a lot?
Yes. And a lot of people, I kind of get the whole, oh, I can do that. Or how do you oh my gosh, I would go crazy. And it's like, well, no, you wouldn't because you're human beings. So you'll be fine.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I do get a lot of that. But also with a lot of my clients, I'm like, you can't do this. Like if I can do this, you can do this.
Yeah, that's so powerful, yo. That's so powerful. So I'm telling you, just because of that, yo, I'm going to be showing your stuff so much more. Because people always give me that excuse, yo. Always give me that excuse. And I'm just going to be like,
yeah.
Take a look. Take a look.
6 kids, edits her own videos and everything, which I'm trying to move away from this year. So super excited about that. Thank God.
What ages are they?
Ages range. That's a great question. Call them in here and be like, how old are you? Tell them how old you are.
Yeah, right?
The oldest is 20. I think she's 23 or 24, Lord. And the youngest is 7. So I'm going to go that way, right?
There's
4 girls and 2 boys.
That's powerful. And you know what's so dope about that too? I just want to say, because I've kind of talked about this on this podcast, is like, you know, I look at like the world and I'm like, yo, people aren't having kids as much as they used to.
Yeah.
You know, when like our parents and stuff, they had a lot of kids, you know, like I was an only child, but before that, my mom had like 4 brothers and, you know, a sister. And then my dad had like 4 brothers, 3 sisters, something like that. Like it was very common, I feel like, back then. And then we always had these big families.
Yeah.
But now, you know, you look at people our age and you're like, they lucky if they have 1.
So it's interesting we're talking about this, right? Because my daughter called me earlier and she was like, Mom, like, are you supposed to date to marry? Or are you supposed to just date to date? And I
Mm,
said, well, no, the goal is to find someone that you truthfully want to spend your life with, but a lot of people aren't doing that these days. They kind
yeah.
of just get divorced and find somebody else. And not to say that there's anything wrong with that at all. I feel like there's some points when you definitely need to do that. But I was telling her the goal is ultimately to find somebody that you feel like you can spend your life with and,
Yeah.
raise a family and have a family with. And she was like, well, a lot of my friends are telling me I should just be dating, like just date to date. Like I shouldn't be looking for marriage and don't
Mm,
worry about marriage because marriage is just a pit and everybody that's married is not happy. They're not happy and they're, all the suffering and all that
mm,
stuff. And I'm like, that's not true. I think we get
yeah.
more of those put out there, right? Like all the blogs and everything else that they love to tell us when people are cheating on each other, Will Smith and Jay, that whole thing,
Yeah.
and we don't really focus in on, the end result of you dating or getting out there and seeing what's out there is for you to eventually say, oh, this is a person I want to spend my life with, this person. And then the kids kind of come and all that other good stuff. So anyway,
Yeah.
interesting.
Nah, that's powerful. And it's kind of funny because I'm one that always says like, okay, date a lot, but I don't mean date a lot. When I say that though, I say date longer with the person that you're
Hmm.
interested in, so you could tell if they are for you.
If there is,
Because
yeah.
a lot of times people date for 2 months and then they end up in a relationship, and it's like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of amazing relationships that started that way.
Yeah.
However, just looking at a lot of stuff, it's like, how do you really know? It takes time to get to know someone,
Oh, facts. It
right?
takes years. Me and my
Yeah,
husband have been married for what year are we in? What year is this? 2021?
yeah.
Well, 21 years this year.
Wow, congratulations. That's powerful.
I'm just knowing
Giving
who
you a
this dude
gunshot.
is. Like, I just now know who this dude is. 21 years
Yeah.
later.
And it's crazy because people develop. You know what I'm saying? In those 21 years, he's probably changed 3 times, 4 times. Like big changes. Obviously people change
Yeah.
every year, but 3 major shifts in his,
Yeah.
personality, just like
I
you.
mean, as you get older, you progress and
Yeah.
you want different things, and then things change, and then you get to a point, and then of course you have family that passes away, that changes it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot. So you go through all those different ebbs and flows, I'll call them,
Yeah.
in life, and you become a different person, they become a
Mm.
different person. So you kind of have to re-meet again and kind of develop again and grow. And then your kids get older, they start acting crazy. That's a whole thing in itself. So, but this is called therapy podcast.
Hey, this is what we talk about. This is the real stuff. So don't be, I mean, these are the real type of conversations that we have, because normally talks about that. But, for anyone that's like has that same ideology or same question as your daughter, like, I would just say, I think the intent is to find someone to marry or to be with it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not marry, you want to be able to find that person to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
So it's like, in dating, yes, just don't jump to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to, get to know the person, make sure that they're really for you. Don't just take someone because they look good, or don't just take someone because they have money, or it's a good time romantically. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
times people, those things, they just pick the person, but they don't really get to know them. And I always tell people, kind of think of it like a friendship. Like, how like let's say one of your best friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to say, yo, that's your best friend.
Exactly.
So it should go the same way with your lover. And in turn, your lover should be like your bestest friend.
Yeah. And so, and for a long time, I struggled with that because I felt like I can't
Mm.
tell him everything, like from when my girls, I could tell them,
Yeah, yeah.
pretty much, but it was like other stuff was like, I'm not telling him that. Like, yeah.
Mm.
But we did get to a place in the space where it was like, he told me that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful and it's pretty dope, because I know he has some guy friends that are like his bros, that are like, but it's like, oh wow, like, I'm above them, or not above them, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
we
no,
would
like,
rather,
rather talk to
so
you.
it's
And
cool.
I think that's how it should be. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously we definitely have, we always have things that we don't want to tell everybody, and we
Yeah.
maybe feel other people will relate to more. But I mean, at
Hmm.
the end of the day, I think that's when that feeling is really, really super strong.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like when I
Yeah.
always see people and I'm like, yo, they're like, amazing friends. And it's like, if you know, it's like, oh, that's the bond. You know what I'm saying? Like I when I see a couple and I see that bond, it's like that's what it's about. You know, not just
Exactly.
because of other reasons. So that's
Yeah.
super powerful. And just the fact of that, like I said, I love the fact that you do have 6 kids, because where I was going with the other message was like, you know, the world's going to be different in like 50, 60 years. We don't realize it, but you know, we're either not having kids or we're
Mhm.
having 1 kid, 2 kid max on average. You know, obviously
Mhm.
there's families with other ones, but it's not like back in the day. Where back in the
Mhm.
day, if you had 1 kid, you were looked at like,
What you
huh?
doing, right?
Right?
Mhm.
So that's gonna, I think, like definitely curve the population and like make a
It
difference in the long term.
Yeah. I mean, and now that we're kind of talking about it, it is something that I definitely want to learn more about because I kind of stay in my little bubble of
Yeah.
the internet. I don't really look at the other things outside of that. And so, yeah, you make a great point. And even in like maternal health, I'm around women that are constantly, we
Yeah.
always have someone that's pregnant or, we're talking to doulas and midwives and things to that effect. So I'm constantly seeing birth. But I mean, to your point, I think you're right. Very rarely do I see anyone that has more than maybe two.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know this. I don't know the statistics. I'm just going by my eyes, and like what you said,
Yeah.
I'm just going by that, and based off of like our parents and our grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, there was people back in the day with like 14 siblings, and it's
Yeah.
like
Facts.
so. From what I don't think we've
Now
ever.
that I can't imagine.
Yo, imagine that. Like,
10 or 14 of them. Oh, just my youngest. I
yeah,
don't think I could not function.
yeah, nah, but shout
She
out to
is
you for
just a
that,
mess.
because that is super powerful, because you're doing a lot, because you're building legacies. You know what I'm saying? That you're building that.
I
So
hope
that's
so. I hope these human beings grow up to be amazing people that change the world in a positive way and they bring, which I see them do, which is pretty dope to see them do, right? To see them be the kid that tells the other kid that's going off like, hey, no, you need to go this way or do something else. So it's pretty dope to raise human beings that
yeah.
you feel are confident enough to get out there and tell people what they should be doing positively instead of going on that negative end. So I'm
That's
proud of
fire.
them for that.
And that just shows what a good role model they have.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
hope so.
Nah, that's trust me, nah, you are, nah, hope. But
I'm having my moments now.
no, we all human, girl. We all human. Like we all have our moments. We all have our imperfections. Like I always say, a big quote of mine is, "There's no such thing as perfect. You just got to take the moment to make it perfect, or take the thing to make it
Oh, I like
perfect." Like,
that. I
yeah,
like that.
there's no such thing. There's no such
That's
thing as
good.
perfect. So,
That is
yeah,
that's dope. I like that.
thank you. You definitely doing your thing. But so are you down to get into like a little topic and like
Let's do it.
just
Yeah.
dissect something?
Let's dissect.
Nice.
Life dissection.
Yes. So I put up something on my Instagram yesterday. I put a quote up about being very direct. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually gonna read it, because I wrote it, but I just wrote it like real quick, like in the
Now
car.
what? Should I go look at your Instagram?
So I put, the quote was, this year, let's respectfully be super direct and deliberate with our wants and needs from others, as well as our actions. People are not mind readers, nor do they think exactly how we do. We don't have time to waste. We got legacies to build. And
Mm.
then I put, this has been a process for me. I typically like when things are just flow naturally. But over time, I've learned that people really are not in my head. They can't guess how I feel. And it can get tough when you have a lot of things going on. You want someone to be on the same page as you. Recording the podcast for 4 years has helped me a lot. By just being able to express myself, I've learned that we must speak our destiny into existence, and the universe will kind of do its magic. And there's a big but here. We have to be very direct in our actions and our engagement with others. You could pull someone in your life, but are you going to be direct with them and explain why you want them in your life or whatsoever? I put a lot of thought on why sometimes I wouldn't be so direct, and it comes down to many different reasons, but mainly because I want shit to be organic. Like, but we are getting old. Time passes. Our kids are getting older. People are dying. The pandemic or not, the world is always going to world, and it's always going to do dumb shit. And this is just a constant change, and we can't wait on shit to just happen. So start your mission, start your legacy. Say what you got to say with respect. I'm not saying be direct and be an asshole. I'm saying say how you feel. Choose your words wisely. I wasted a lot of time in my life by not doing this, and it's a work in progress.
Nice.
So,
Man, your Instagram be like poetry and stuff. I can't.
nah, that's just
Now I
me
feel like I
talking
don't
shit.
compare. Like,
Nah.
I'm just teaching people how to make emojis on Reels. Like,
Nah. I'm deep, girl. I'm deep. Not everyone wants to go so
some
deep.
life-changing post.
Nah, you're funny. I wrote that shit in the car, and it was just a feeling I had at the moment. You know,
Wow.
it was just a feeling, you know what I mean, that I've been feeling. So, and then a lot of
Yeah.
people were like, "Yo, we should talk about that on the podcast." So I was like, you know,
Yeah.
do you feel like you're very direct? Well, first of all, what sign are you?
I'm an Aries.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, you direct.
Oh yeah. I think yeah. So when you asked me that, I was like,
She's like,
you want to ask my brother and my husband?
So you're mad direct. Okay, so
Super.
like, why is it easy for you to be so direct? Do you ever think about that?
No, I just do it. I
You just do
never
it.
really think, I've never thought about why it's so easy for me to do it. And actually, it pisses me off when other people aren't. It isn't easy for other folks, right? It's like, what are you doing? Tell them.
Like, why don't you just say it?
You just do it. Like, so for instance, or for example, I was on a Clubhouse call in a room with someone who, and if you don't know, just Google Clubhouse, it's a whole thing. So we were in there.
That's how we connected.
Yes, that's how we connected. We were in a room and we were talking, and a couple of other people came up on stage and they were talking, and they kind of took over the room, so to speak, a little bit, right? Which I was fine with because I was just relaxing and I was doing other stuff, so I wasn't tripping. But my co-host, the person I was moderating with, was like, I can't get a word in. Like, this is a great conversation, but I can't get a word in. And I was like, well, say something. It's your room. Like, speak up. Tell them. And so when they finally got to a place, I was like, okay, let me reset, and I was like, okay, now do you have something to say? Go ahead and say it. And she was able to say what she needed to say. But I'm always usually that person, regardless. If it's virtual and in person, I'm that person. It's like, Jessica, I can't. And I'm like, okay, hold up. Y'all need to stop. This person has something to say. So I don't know.
So it's always been like that. Yeah.
Even with the advocacy stuff, right? That's why I do advocacy, because I'm always like, oh no, this needs to be said, and these doctors need to know, and I don't care how you feel, and I don't care what degree you got. Even with celebrities, I don't care what celebrity you are. If you come into my room, you need to do the same thing that everybody else in here is doing.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Ain't no difference. The only thing you can do for me anyway is give me money or take a picture with me so I can get some clout. But other than that, I don't want to, you ain't getting no special privileges in here.
Exactly. I'm giving you mad gunshots right now. So with that, do you ever feel like, have you had close relationships with anybody who aren't so direct and it gets like messy?
Yeah, my husband.
Yeah, he's not so direct with you. What sign is he?
He is a Cancer, I think. He's July 20th.
July 20th. That actually might be Leo.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's either Leo or Cancer.
Okay.
But so you don't feel he is direct? I feel like they are a little bit.
He's gosh, no.
Okay.
It takes him a lot to get to where he's like, okay, now I'll say something.
Now, have you ever had to have that conversation and be like,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
Especially with him being a guy, it's difficult. It's complicated. Like,
now,
step up.
Now, with you being direct, have you ever had the issue of someone thinking you were being aggressive with being direct, or do you know how?
Did you make this whole podcast about me? Like,
no, I'm just talking. Like, I don't do no notes. I just
I feel like you went and researched it and talked to my family.
Not at all. Nah.
It's always an issue. It's always a freaking issue. I'm always like constantly. So what I've done over the last couple of years is I've done a lot of stepping back. And that doesn't mean that I don't say something when it needs to be said, but it means that I say it in a different way to where I'm more aware of what they may have gone through and their perspective on things versus me just coming at them like, oh, no, you know?
Yeah.
So like with my family, for instance, they used to give me a lot of flack about having 6 kids. So it would be a whole thing. Oh, you got all them kids. I don't see how you doing this. And I don't know how you do all of that with all them kids and da, 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 da. And so I changed the narrative to when we were doing, Christmas over at grandma's and stuff. We don't do it anymore, of course, because of COVID. But when I went over and they would say something like that, I would redirect it because I started to see how my kids would like respond to it. Like, what are they, like, why are they, so I change it around. Instead of them saying, or when they say, you got all them kids. I say, yeah. So I'm continuing on our legacy. And one of my kids acts just like you. They have your smile or something. So I'll change it around and redirect it. Or when the negative energy would come at me like, you getting big, or well, my whole thing is I've always been too skinny. So I've been the opposite. I've been always been too small. Oh, you're so small. You're so little. Do you even eat? Da, 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 da. No, I'm fine. Things are going well. And how are you? How are things with you? I see you. Oh my gosh, I just love your eye color. So I always switch it around or find some way to turn it around instead of it being a negative of them coming at me. How can I turn it around and then say something positive and compliment them? And that shifted everything. So now there's a different air when I go over. Everything just shifted from my perspective, shifting and going, the problem really isn't me. The problem is them. They're just inflicting that problem on me because I'm a target for whatever reason. But when I started to shift that, they can no longer do that to me. And it's all about energy shifting. They can only do it to themselves. They couldn't put it on me or somebody else in the family, but it wasn't coming in my way. I wasn't letting them get any more energy, put any more negative energy into me to stop my day from going. So that's how I combated that.
That's power. Now, what had that shift? Because that leads into a whole other conversation that I actually talk about a lot. And I've done the same thing. My life changed once I started doing that.
Yeah.
I know my depression, everything. So for you, what was that shift? Like, how did that shift happen?
I can't even really pinpoint when exactly it happened. I just know that because it wasn't when I started doing advocacy, because I was still in it a little bit. Like I was still like fiery. You said something. I was like, oh, for real? And then, so I can't pinpoint. You know what? I can't pinpoint. It wasn't something that happened per se. Like it wasn't an event. It was just, I had picked up a book and I have it. It's all matted now, but it's Produced by Faith by Devon Franklin.
Okay.
And as you can see, I've been through this book several
times. Hey, that's good. That means it's a good book.
Another copy.
That means it's a good book.
Right? And also Priscilla Schreier's Gideon. And so I read through those books and it just like shifted everything. And I was like, oh, shoot. I'm allowing them to have control over me. And one thing I don't like is nobody having no control over me. That's why I don't smoke or drink or none of that, because I don't want nothing. Control over what I do or what I say. And so, yeah, that was the moment. It was just reading those books. And I can't, like I said, I can't pinpoint when that was, but it was a couple of years ago. And just reading those books and just taking that moment to look inside myself and realize that people were shifting the way that I made my life journey through life because of their energy. I was like, oh no, yeah, I'm not gonna do this no more.
Yeah, and I bet once you started doing that, you started to see it, right? How long you think it took you to see that? Like once you started doing it, it was immediate. You saw the change.
Because I started with my husband. Started right in my house. Yeah. I started with my kids, and they, what? It was like a whole thing because I'd gone through depression for a long time. And with depression, what a lot of people don't talk about is the anger that comes along with depression. So you have that downfall of just being in this hole and feeling like you're in a well and nobody sees you, nobody hears you, nobody sees this deep burning pain that you can't really explain what's going on, to you being frustrated and upset, like that. Yeah. And you ticked off really easily. So I was doing that with my kids. And I started to realize that. And then I was like, I can't do that anymore. So when that shifted, it was like, ooh, you ain't yelling no more. You don't trip that hard anymore. And then when my husband will say something, I'm like, are you feeling okay? And how's things going with you? And he's like, wait, what? You actually acknowledge me instead of just coming at me?
Wow.
Because I could acknowledge when it was something that was triggered in him, that he was just, pointing it towards me, and I can go, wait a minute, hold up. This isn't about me. It's about something that's going on with you. So let's talk about it. It's different. So yeah.
That's major that you did that. Shout out to you, because not many people like. What would you tell someone that's trying to do that right now and is having a struggle?
If you're having a struggle with it, it's really because you don't know yourself deeply. And I realized that, I was, how many kids did I have? I think I was 20. By the time I was 24, I had 3 or 4 kids, right? So I didn't have that time where people usually go off and they do the crazy stuff or, I didn't have any of that time. I was either breastfeeding or pregnant the whole time from the age of 17 all the way up to my last child was 2013 to 33, right? That whole time I was breastfeeding or pregnant. So you think of all of that time that I didn't really get to understand who I was as an individual, because I sure didn't know it at 17. I was still, I was only 17. I had to take a step back. What I did is I went to 16personalities.com. It's something I tell everybody. I don't own any stake in it or anything, but it's a great website. Did a personality assessment on myself. And then I started to really dig deep into who I was as an individual. What were my likes? What were my dislikes? Why was I lashing out so much? And when I did that introspection, like I said, I don't like anything controlling me. And I started to realize that, and I'm a huge psychology nut too. So just keep that on the back burner. Keep that in the back of your mind. I love psychology. The events and the things and the circumstances that happen lead up to who you are. So knowing that I've been taking care of these kids for all these blocks, decades almost of my life, and I never really had time for myself, that was something that I had to step back and go, okay, Jessica, what the heck do you want? What would make you happy? How can you, and then it's about value too. So to your point, to your question, to bring it back around full circle, explore what makes you happy and then find out why you're supposed to be here. And key point here, a little tip, it isn't new. It's something you already do and you've been doing for the longest time, but it's just something that comes so easily to you that you feel like it's not valued by others, right? Or you don't see the value in it. So step back, really explore your childhood, your teenage years and high school. What was the one thing people kind of came to you for? And do that in your business, your life, everything, and you'll feel fulfilled, you'll feel valued, you'll have all those other things coming to you, and then understand that you need to figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing in this world, but then also what excites you, what makes you happy, and then what angers you and what triggers you. Recognize those triggers, and once you know what they are, don't let yourself go back there. Don't let anyone control your energy. You control it always. So I'm going to say that. Hopefully that answers the question.
No, yeah, that's powerful because you're saying basically you're in control of the situation. Once you start attacking and start using that going back and forth with the person, being extremely maybe direct or being aggressive in the directness.
Yeah,
it can come off a wrong way, but it's like if you remember that you're in control of your own life, it will help you.
You can control what nobody else does, but you can control yourself. And so quick example. I know I got 50 million stories, but quick example. My sister was driving. We were in Lake Tahoe. Have you ever been to Lake Tahoe?
No.
Okay. Well, Lake Tahoe is in California. What I think, where's the place that everybody goes and they do like the white parties and stuff in New York? Like what is it called? With like the snow and stuff. What's that place called?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's where Puff Daddy used to do like all his white parties and stuff where like all the Caucasian people live. So I'm going to put it that way.
I don't know.
It's that is our piece of it here, where people kind of go and it's like snow and there's not really a lot of diversity and all that good stuff. So we were there and we were driving and she was about to park. And so a car came and immediately where she was about to turn came and went and parked in the space. And she was, granted, she should have been, right? But she was like, what the living? And we got the kids in the car. And I said, hey. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna. And I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. We got the kids with us. Because we were having a good, we were laughing and dancing. And that one incident, that one action just shifted everything to her. She was fuming. She was PO'd. And I said, you know what? You have a choice here. You can either respond to what just happened, or you can act like nothing happened at all. Because that person did it on purpose to piss you off, to interrupt your day. They saw we were laughing. They saw we were enjoying ourselves.
Mm.
Are you going to allow them to interject in our energy and take away all the good vibes we were just having? Or are we going to go around and find another park because there's 50 million other ones right here? It wasn't like the parking lot was full. Like there's 50 other parks.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. So she did her little breathing thing. She found another park. And as we were going in, the guy I think he was coming out or something like that. And I said, don't even acknowledge. Keep on laughing. So I started to talk to her about something else, right? And she's like, later on, she was like, thank you for doing that. Because here's the thing, our levels of stress, especially as Black women, it's just, so when we have incidents like that continuously, your heart rate's racing, your stress levels are up. It's doing more harm than it is good for you to react to something like that.
Yeah.
When you can just be like, And guess what? Here's the kicker. When you don't respond, they're like, what happened? Why didn't you respond?
Yeah, exactly. And
so you end up winning anyway.
That's powerful. Like that's, so you're basically like, her like perspective accountability kind of coach in that moment.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Girl, I was like, girl, stop. We don't even, that did not happen.
Yeah, people need that because that's so powerful and it's so true. And also what you said about, like kind of getting to know yourself again was super powerful because I actually did the same thing to help me. And that was like probably the first step to help me, help me with my mental health and my depression that I was going through a lot of my life. It was self-assessment.
Exactly.
Self-assessment was major. And
Huge
I'm actually,
for me too.
Yeah, I'm writing a book on it right now. Well, like an ebook. Yeah,
yes.
It's
I was look with that post. I was like, you better write an ebook.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm a writer, screenwriter as well. But I've been getting more into
obvious.
it now. Thank you. I've always written. I just never did it for like a profession. I always was just really, I just did it. But now I'm stepping into that world.
Did you guys hear that though? Remember what I said earlier? You've always written.
Exactly.
It's always been in you. It's always been there.
You're right. And that's the thing. We have to do that self-assessment to really dig in because, we forget who we are sometimes and not even on purpose. It's just, life, kids, work,
world,
job, stress, death, everything like, whatever it is, like we all have shit going on in our heads and everyone's stress level, what I'm saying, is different. And what one person thinks is really, really stressful may not be stressful to another person or vice versa. So, but self-assessment is key. That was the first step in me. And really, so it was that first. And then the same thing was the perspective shift. Once I started shifting, and what I was really doing was I was shifting every piece of adversity. So that's really what my perspective was shifting. Every single time adversity would come, I would shift the narrative on the adversity.
Absolutely.
And at first I like kind of, I was trying to do it. And I heard it works and all that from some speakers that I follow. And you kind of just looking like, all right, cool. But then I'm like, wait a minute. It adds up. Like you almost start like really believing it because it's like, yo, like, wait a minute. It makes so much sense.
It does.
Like, just the quickest example, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's like, yo, one time I was stuck with two car payments. I was paying $1,600 a month just on cars. So I was going into debt. I was, late on my rent. I was everything, right? And I was like, I was speaking to the universe, to God, to whoever. And I was like, yo, like, I can't do this no more. What, I just need to get out of these cars. Like, I'm killing myself working every day, trying to pay rent and that and bills and do a podcast and like all these stuff. Cause this was only a couple of years ago. And then the first car ended up getting totaled by a tow truck driver. So like the most randomest thing in the world, the tow truck driver totaled it as he was putting it on the tow truck. And I'm flipping out at that moment. And I'm not even that guy. I get very rarely angry in those moments, but it was just one of those things where it was like, that was like the icing.
That was it.
So, because all I had was like a flat tire and he totaled the whole car. So just imagine that you're getting your tow truck, and then the driver he just totals the whole thing because he doesn't know how to put it on.
So wait, so did he put it up on the tow, and then when he delivered it to you,
as he was putting it on? And I have the whole thing on tape, on video, and everything.
And you were standing right there.
Yeah, the cop was there and everything, but of course, the cop didn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? But you know how that goes, and it's so whatever. I dealt with that. Then the next car ended up getting repoed a couple months later. But guess what? I asked for that.
Yeah.
I asked the universe or the world or whoever, yo, I can't handle these cars no more. This is too much. So guess what? Yeah. I got what I wanted. And a lot of times we would have just been so focused on, yo, the tow truck driver did, or a car, like, and you're just like, you're bugging out about the adversity or whatever it is. And you're not looking at the blessing that you asked for. Because I'm a firm believer that you do speak, you speak things into existence, or, know, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Absolutely. So it's like, a lot of times it's just ain't going to come out the way you want it to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, with this post, I was saying about being direct, and that's one thing that I've learned too, even with doing that. So if someone believes in that and says, okay, yeah, you got to speak it into existence, all that type of stuff. I learned even with that, you need to be very direct. You need to be very deliberate. You're not, you can't just say, oh, I want to get a good paying job. Yeah. You'll get a good paying job. But are you going to be happy?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, no, I want to be happy. Like, you have to be very deliberate and direct in your speech that you're speaking, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing, but also with people, like that's one thing that I've been trying to work on myself, is because it's like, yo, sometimes I just like, don't you ever just like things to flow organically? Did you ever feel like, but you're like, you're direct though. So I don't know.
No, but that doesn't mean, I feel like I keep giving this example of Clubhouse, but
no, it's okay.
With Clubhouse, I don't plan anything that happens in those rooms. I don't plan, I do the title and I let things go wherever they're going to go. And I think for a lot of people that like structure and 6 tips to I'm more or less like, hey, let's bring everybody up to the stage and let's have a conversation. And where the conversation flows, that's okay. We just let it go there. Instead of it being such a tight knit, I'm the only one that could be on stage and be a moderator. And there's, even moving people down to the stage, I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
I leave you up. If you want to move yourself, you move yourself. But so anyway, I do like the flow.
I agree with you. That's how it should be. But I think I've done that a little bit more. I've done that in my life too much. So I need to find out that balance. Yeah, what I noticed I do it big time is relationships. Not like dating, or even liking a female. I've thought about it the other day. I'm like, yo, that's how I've gotten, because I've said on this podcast, a lot of my issues, I've always gotten friend zoned. Like anytime I really like someone, I've always gotten friend zoned. I've either just, I've had some success, but anytime I really liked someone, I got friend zoned. And I'm like, damn, why? And I'm
where
very,
it's like you like them more than they like you, kind of thing. Like in that way, anyways.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it was just because now I'm starting to see y'all wasn't direct.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
I would be like, yo, I want to take you out, but I'm not saying, yo, I want to take you out on a date. And it's so silly because I didn't think that mattered.
Have you read the book? It sounds like you may not be spiritual, but it's still, it's a great book. It's called Men Are Spaghetti, Men Are Waffles, Women Are Spaghetti.
That sounds interesting.
You need to read it.
Okay.
It will give you so much insight. It will give you a lot of insight.
Send it to me.
The way that we think in spaghetti noodles, right? We think all over the place, where men think in pockets. So while you may be saying, yes, I want to take you out. We're like, oh, okay, we're going to go out. Because we're all over.
Trash.
While you in a pocket, you're like, no, we going to go out.
You're not cool to me. You're not tough to me.
I need a
You're
moment of
not the
silence
measuring
for that.
stick
That's
of
rough.
what street niggas listen
Because
to.
now, I didn't realize it was like that. Because I was thinking, I felt the whole, can I take you out on a date? That type of stuff was more, I always felt sometimes females would be like, oh, that's too direct. Yeah. So no, I just always thought that was being too direct. I thought that would almost come off as that was kind of coming off as corny, sappy, or whatever that is.
But so if you define the type of woman that you want to be in and that's not to say that the first date is going to be a relationship, but just defining the woman you want to be in a relationship with, you probably want them to be like that, right? Yeah. Or if you don't, then you would come a different way about it, right? But if you want them to be the sappy, oh yeah, that's so sweet. Oh wow, yes, and I'm being honest with you and be real. The kind of girl that is the nice girl, right? That is I care about what you're doing. I care about what's that. We'll be like, oh, yes, absolutely. The opposite chick ain't.
They're gonna be like, yeah, they're gonna be like. So then that's
Why
the
you so
thing.
corny?
Yeah.
They got issues. You don't want that. They got problems, okay? You don't want to be in no relationship with them.
Yo, it's just so complicated because it's like, I didn't even think that, and I get it too. It makes a difference. Like you actually, it's crazy, yo. I think that's where I messed up like 30 years of my life is not being so direct with that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, and two, don't monitor yourself. Just be you. You know, if you want to say go out on a date, if that's the way that you talk, then that's what you say. If you don't say that, then don't say that. But just allow it to flow, like you said, right?
But I usually do, and then I always end up like in those situations. So that's why I'm like, damn, maybe I'm just not being direct enough. Like maybe I need to be direct and say, yo, like I want to take you on a date. Like,
it might be more like I like you, depending on the situation, right? I like you. Let's go out on a date. That's more.
That sounds wrong. That sounds like really bold. Yo, and it's just funny because it does. It sounds so bold.
Well, you have to define, and I'm gonna be real here, so you can feel like
no,
if you
yeah,
want
this
to
is
edit it
real,
out,
real.
you can edit it out. But you have to define what you want, bruh. You want a bone, or you want a wife? Like which one? You want?
Sometimes a little
because
both.
you're gonna get two different. No, you can't. No,
you can't. You can't find a little bit of both.
You may find that one that might be like, but I'm gonna tell you right now, anyone that really just values themselves will value you, will respect the opinion and the emotion, all that stuff. At this level of the game, they're not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like that immediately. It's gonna take some time to get to know each other and then move into that. But they're gonna honor and be very open to receiving the fact that you're saying, I like you and I want to go on a date. They're gonna be, oh wow. You know, because they may be looking for a different guy. You got to think too, to our point earlier, the age, you know, when you were in your younger 20s and they might have been like, okay, let's do it, you know, but you get older, it's like, I'm looking for now something else, right? I'm at a different point in my life and I've been through all the other ones already. Exactly. Now I'm looking for the one that's going to be able to take care of me and I can, reciprocate.
Yeah. Yeah, same way. And I'm joking a little bit here too. So, so I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I just try. I'm stupid like that. But I feel you. But it's just crazy how that type of stuff really does make a difference. And that's why I was like, I made that post, and that's why I was like, yeah, I think we all should do it because, and even me, a lot of times I think I'm being direct. Like I'll think I'm being, and I actually was like, I'm into horoscopes too and all that. And I was like, I think that's kind of sometimes a Capricorn thing. And I was talking to my friend about it and she was kind of the same way. I'm like, yo, you think you're being direct. Cause it's like, yo, I'm like, all right, I want to take you out. I want to take you out this day, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you think you're being direct, but it's like, no, they just taking you out. They don't know exactly what it is. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll go out. They're not thinking it's a day. So you think you're being direct, but you're not.
You didn't use the word.
It's crazy.
You didn't use the word.
You're right. Yeah. The world we live in, right? But even, and then when I was thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, that can kind of come down to everything. It comes down to so many different things. Business, getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. The facts, even with sales, right? Same thing. If you don't say, and I've had situations with that. I won't go to another story, but I've had situations where I'm like, yeah, let's have a meeting. And they'll be like, okay, great. You're going to show me how to do this stuff. I'm like, yeah, let's have a meeting. They show up to the meeting and they're like, okay. And they're telling me what they need. I'm like, okay, great. This is how much it's going to cost. You didn't tell me this was going to cost.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
You know what I do, right? So when you go to your job, do you want to be paid? I do too.
Yeah. No, and you're right. And that's the thing too. And because it's with everything. I've tried to be more of, just because I've always been that let it flow guy. Like let everything flow. Just let it, organically, whatever happens. So
you need to define flow though. So define what flow means, right? Because for me, flow means allowing things to fall where they may, but being very intentional about how those things fall, right? So
Mm.
it's a little trickier than just saying, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's not yeah. It's yeah, but in a very intentional way.
Exactly. And also, like I said, as we getting older, it's like you don't really have time for all that. So you do have to be very intentional
Facts.
with that, or just to make those certain point acrosses. Like it is funny, but those key words, like those, like the date, that are like, there's certain key words like pay or charge. Like there's certain key words that I think that in that, like, you could, okay, maybe there's a balance. Like you could have the flow, but you have to be direct in certain keywords that are really going to make or break. Because free and charge or pay those are different as words. So,
And I don't know how she got that into her.
how what?
I'm just saying, I don't know how she got that into her brain.
No. I'm just saying, like, just for all different, like, business, whatever the case is, like, those type of things really, really matter. So that's certain things that I've been trying to perfect too in my, like, conversations, or like if I go into something knowing, like, if it's a business thing and I want to get paid for that, I make sure I say, like, okay, just so you know, this is what I charge, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, and then you go into it. So it's like, just on a grand scheme of, like, so many different things, and it helps, like, save your time. Like it saves so much time, right? Like, just, you don't have to waste no time kind of guessing.
Well, after that experience, and that was like earlier on when I first started, like, doing this stuff, after that experience, I definitely was, like, very upfront about, because at the same token, I didn't want people to interpret what I was doing or saying as trying to be, like, salesy or something, because that's a huge concern for me. I wanted to make sure that they knew upfront what they were, getting into. And of course, in that example, I make fun of it, but I obviously didn't communicate that well.
Yeah, and I think that's where the balance is. It's just because it's like, you don't want to come off as that. It's always, you don't, like, I think if you're steering away from being directors, you don't want to come off as something you're not.
Exactly.
So, like, I feel you. Like, with the money thing, it's like, I don't want to come off like I'm just being a dick and just charging you, X amount of money, and that's all I want is the money. But so a lot of times it's like, you just maybe go, or I will, people that do that, you just go with the flow. And don't really you're not really that intentional because you don't want to come off as that person. And then you figure, oh, what the money will come up.
Yeah. That's a mindset change though.
Yeah.
I had that in the beginning. Oh no, Jessica doesn't do that anymore. We don't, right up front. I'm like, okay. I actually had someone call me a little while ago. Hey, I need some help with this. I'm doing this thing. I said, okay, what's your budget?
Exactly.
We don't do any more of the
exactly.
I'll tell you what your budget will get you, right? Or I will just tell you I can't do it at all if I don't feel like it's worth my time. And that's not to say that I can't help you, because I can still help you, because I can refer you to someone else who can do it for that price, or someone who may be able to help you. It just wouldn't be me. And that's still helpful.
Exactly. It is. There's power in that. And that's a good way to say it. You know what I mean? Like, what's your budget? Like, a lot of times I think it's something, like I say, just people just don't want to come off like, like, it's like, you can't just say, oh yeah, how much you got? Be like, no, what's your budget? So it's just how you say things really, really matters.
Well, some people I do. I'll be like, how much you got?
Depending the relationship.
I'm just messing with
depending on the relationship,
Yeah, exactly.
Your daughter comes in and she wants some help. Like, yeah, how much you got? Let's talk.
No, I don't charge my kids.
But
I do tell them that these are services that others are paying for, and and I tell my husband too. I'm just joking with them, of course. But I'm like, dude,
like, yo,
people pay.
Yeah, people pay for this.
People pay for this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So I need a foot rub or something.
All right. So what are some of the services that you do?
So I do content creation. I primarily focus in on content creation. I've done that recently because I was doing all of it. And recently I just felt like, yeah, I don't want to do it all anymore. So content creation strategy is really where I focus in on. I love having conversations similar to this one with my clients, which is ironic, and just asking them questions about their childhood, about, you know, what their interests are, why they started their businesses, or if they aren't in business for themselves, why they want to use digital media at all, right? Why do you even want to get on this thing? Because it's a lot. Why do you want to do this? So doing a lot of that back end work and then pulling that out of them and just seeing the joy that they have when they create their content, because they're so happy because they finally found like their thing to put out there. It's really difficult when you don't know what that thing is. You're just kind of throwing stuff out there. But when you can do it and people respond to it because it's your thing, it feels amazing. And they actually buy and they pay you. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's just a bonus. Nah, how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing this since 2012, but getting paid for it like continuously since maybe 2015 or so, because I did an event, and then from there it really started to happen for me and people kind of started to recognize me as the person to go to ask these questions.
That's fire. That's fire. I'm gonna have to get you on my other podcast. I have another podcast coming soon because I do the marketing and content creation as well. So I'm actually starting a podcast.
I know your stuff is fire. I love your stuff.
Thank you.
Matter of fact, you're supposed to DM me about some shirts. What happened, bro? You're supposed to call me or something. Yeah.
Do the shirt? Oh, I got you. See, I do too much.
Look, he totally forgot about me, y'all.
I need another me. That's what I need.
I totally get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that's actually one thing I've been focusing on now too, is just like you said, delegating. Like you said, you're gonna start delegating different things to different people. Yep. Where do you see yourself in a few years? Like actually, what you doing the business? Like, how do you want to grow it?
I want to grow it to where it's running itself, where I hire a CEO to run it, and I'm just maybe the face of it. And I just go around and be like, hey, yeah, so I started this thing, and
hey,
that's it. Like, I don't do nothing else. You can do all the managing people. And so I have a couple of revenue share deals with a couple of companies that I'm super excited about, and growing their companies and allowing them to run it. And then I can just be the person that brings my insight when I need to bring my insight. And that's more or less where I'm moving my company to this year, is just building the brand of me. And hopefully, I just did a whole vision board, so you're getting the whole answer to that question. The intellectual property deals, the movies, the television shows, all of that good stuff that I can just make money off of and have continuous revenue off of my name and what I've built once I build it up to that. Yeah, that's what I'm working towards.
You're out here working. Yeah. What I want to know too is, how do you, like, because not many people they never want someone else to do their creation. So what's that mindset that kind of took you to be like saying like, nah, like I know, because I agree with you. Like, you can't be doing that shit yourself. It has to grow. It has to get bigger. But a lot of people are stuck in that mindset of, like photographers, let's just say, nobody can take pictures like me, or a tattoo artist, like nobody could tat like me, like stuff like that. So it's like, or, so many different things, what is that mindset of saying, nah, it doesn't have to be my creation? Because a lot of your shit is super, super fire, and it's unique because it's the art coming from you. So it's like, damn, what's that process now of saying, you know what?
To be honest, I'll probably continue to do that stuff. But when it's for other people, I'm letting somebody else do that.
Okay. So but for your stuff.
Yeah, for me, I'm doing it for me because I enjoy it and it's fun for me. It's not work, which, I get in trouble with my friend Eva Laura, my co-host, as a life coach. She's always, what do you do for fun? No. I said, this. No, that's work. What is fun? I'm like, no, this is fun for me. I enjoy it. I've been making videos and dancing in front of the camera since I was 7 years old. My dad has those old VHS tapes of me dancing to Jodeci and all them folks back in the day, That's so I've been making videos since then. So now what I do is make videos, right? Make content.
Yeah.
Before it was even called content, I was making it. But yeah, so I would say to anyone who is out there who may be thinking that, first and foremost, there's probably somebody out there that is more fire than you. But if you enjoy doing it, do it for yourself, but then delegate all of your other clients out to other people, because you can train those people to be just as fire as you. and you can train them to be up to a level, and then keep looking until you find those people, because it's hard to find good people to work for you. Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
But you will find those folks that are interested, that want to just work hard. Like right now, I have a intern. It's amazing. Amazing. Oh my gosh. So now I have to find a way to hire her, because she's just so amazing. She just does what I need done. And it's so, let me tell y'all, you might love doing this work. You may enjoy it, but when you got to deal with 10 to 12 different clients on your roster, and you got to get to each one of them, and they all need your individual care, it is tiresome. It's a lot. But when you can go, here, take this, and it gets done anyway, and you still get paid, now that's the feeling. That's what you want.
Yeah, when you don't even got to touch it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It's I was like, okay, gotta hire her. I need some more clients. Somebody else got to pay me.
Yeah, so you can pay her, exactly. So it can go down the line.
Yeah, it's been amazing to just wake up and have it done, and not be sitting up till 3 and 4 a.m. editing videos.
Yeah, no, that's
Crazy.
fine. I you're gonna have mad interns, mad employees. You know,
I ain't trying to look, and I ain't managing them. Somebody else gonna do it.
Exactly. Look at that. See, that mindset is powerful. Does your husband have the same mindset, or is
No.
it like no? That got to
Mm-mm.
be interesting.
He's a worker. He works.
Does he what like a 9 to 5?
I'm
Because you work too. Don't downplay yourself. I'm not saying that.
I work. Yeah. Not to say that, but
You just mean like
I'm
a 9 to
saying
5.
He's a 9 to 5er. Yes.
Oh, now
Yeah.
that's a whole other conversation. Like how that.
We'll have to have a whole nother podcast.
Yes, we
episode
need you on
about
again.
that.
We need you again for a part 2, because that's interesting. Because there's always that conversation of like one person.
The time. You doing this for your clients and not for me. Like, yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
That is interesting. So we'll definitely get into that.
You gotta put me on your schedule. Now I gotta be on your schedule.
Yeah. So see, those are the conversations.
I felt like I was in a what is that? Not Alicia Keys, the other one, the Rain on Me song. What's the one that used to sing with oh my gosh, Ashanti.
Yeah.
Ashanti video.
Yo, you gotta do a skit. You should do a little skit with the song.
You know what? It's too much though. I was like, I can't. Like, y'all, my stuff is lighthearted, and I don't want to be on there. I'm sitting in the corner trying to edit this video.
Do a skit, yo. Make a little TikTok, make a little reel. See,
Look, you gonna push me, Joe.
See, we're making content right now. I'm making content right now on the spot.
I might do that actually. Now that I'm started singing, and that's probably gonna be funny. A lot of women could probably relate to that.
You out. She's gonna do it. She's gonna make. She's not gonna be able to sleep now until she does it. Yes, that is fire.
Hilarious.
Yo.
No more podcast interviews with Joe. He has me thinking all kinds of stuff. I can't even.
I'm gonna hold you accountable too. I'm just gonna write like little eyes, like yo, what's up? Where's that?
Look, only if you produce it. Only if you produce it. How about
that? I got you. I'll have to come out there, yo. I'm gonna have to do a trip.
No, doing it on Zoom just ain't gonna do it justice, right?
Yeah, no, it has to be in person. This Zoom thing is cool, but nothing like in person. Nothing like in person. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna hold you to it.
I'm gonna have to come out there because Jersey, I'm sick of the cold. I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it out here.
Good. What's the weather like over there today?
Well, it was 70 something the other day. I don't know what it is today.
Damn. In Los Angeles, it's
70. Yeah, that's probably about what it is out here too. Yeah.
Shake it. How far are you from LA?
I'm like 5-6 hours, so I'm a little ways.
In north, right? North. She's like, I think. I think.
I know, and I live in California, so I don't even want to answer that.
No, that's okay. Yeah, no, because California's huge. California's huge. Mm-hmm. But word. So where can they find all your stuff? Like everything? Because I know they're going to want to connect with you everywhere.
Yeah, just go to my Instagram, Joss Speaks Digital. On Instagram, that's where my housing has been now. I have a YouTube video, but don't go watch it.
Why not?
I'm updating it. So I am going to
Okay.
make it more about me and not so much about whatever the heck it was about that I created videos about before that has no resonance with me anymore. So definitely just connect with me on Instagram. That's the best place
Okay.
to connect with me. And of course, find me on Clubhouse if you guys are on Clubhouse. Would love to
Okay.
chat with you and meet you all because I know you have some amazing followers and connectors and all that good stuff.
Thank
So
you.
just say, hey, I met Joe or I came from Joe's podcast.
Yes. Therapy without a degree. We got to do it. We got to do a room too. I was on Clubhouse. I pop in and out of Clubhouse. The first couple days,
You're
it
good.
was. What do you mean?
I mean, like you're not on there all the time. Like I don't see you all the time. Like,
Yeah.
and I know you had that day that I was in your room. My kids were asleep, so I didn't want to be talking. But I was listening, and I just loved the conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to go on there. I wish I could go on there more. Yo, I just have to close that app because sometimes you could be on there forever.
Ask me how I know. But it's been great for my Instagram. My Instagram is just like fire right now. It's on fire.
Yeah, that's
every day. So
that's the hard part is that it works for that, and it's like, damn, like I want to be on there more. So I pop in. I do a couple hours a week, nothing crazy, and then sometimes I'll either just listen. A lot of times I'm the listener. Sometimes I'll do the rooms. It depends. We did a room the other night. We did a film room. It was pretty cool. It was an interesting one.
yeah, and so with your film rooms, we'll talk offline. I don't want to make this too long. We'll talk offline.
No, it's good. It's good. This podcast sometimes be up to 2 hours. You're good.
Okay, well, I got to bounce off in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say was with the Clubhouse rooms, the ones that you did around filming and stuff, because I definitely want to start to do more like skits, to your point, right? Doing skits and just funny stuff about my life and pulling that into my Instagram content, but also tying it back into what I do with the digital stuff. So definitely need to have that chat with you. So let me know when you do your next room so I can ask questions and get all into y'all brain for free.
Yes, I am with it. I got you. I'll let you know because we're probably gonna hopefully set one up soon. It's already, what's today? Monday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. I'll let you know. Cool. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. And also, you could, like I said, always my DM is always open for you. You know what I mean? So just hit me up. I got you. I'll be able to help you out. And
you got like 20,000 followers or something, right? 50,000, however many thousands you got.
No,
I'm sure
I don't
your
have that
DMs
much.
are full.
No, I don't have that many. I have 13. I have 13,000.
Oh, 13. Okay.
But nah, I mean, you got to stay busy though, right?
A person like me, that's a lot. So.
Nah, but you have really fire engagement. So that's the thing too. So it's like you have really good engagement. So you can't even talk. She's
there.
Nah, you doing everything good, girl. Keep working it. You got this. And if anyone ever needs some fire content, you already know where to go.
Yes, facts.
Yes. So at the end of this show too, we'll usually just shout out something that you think is dope, something that you think is slept on, that not many people know about. Could be a TV show, could be a book, could be a store, could be a small business, anything that you think more people should know about.
That people should know about, that I feel like people should shout out, or I should shout out. Spell tools. It is a tool that you use for creating taglines, titles, and descriptions. I use it for all of my Clubhouse descriptions. I use it for my Instagram content, and I use it for whatever else I need, like descriptions for, whether it's product, images, things to that effect for stores. I use it for all of that good stuff. And now content is rolling out very soon here with content ideas. So it's a great app. Try it.
What is that app you said?
Yeah, let me I'll put it in the chat for you so you can link to it in the show notes. But it is, it's an app. So let me just... I'll find it. I'm sorry, I'll mute myself so you don't hear me clicking.
Nah, it's okay. While you're finding that, I'm gonna try to give mine. I'm going to say shout out to the crock pot. I'm cooking something in a crock pot for the first time right now. Natalie gifted me one. I was talking about a crock pot for the longest time, and she got me one for my birthday. She surprised me. So it was really, really dope. I'm cooking just some chicken in there right now as we speak. So I know it's super random, but if you don't have a crock pot, go get one. All right? Because I heard it's super fire. I'll let y'all know. how it is. So we got that. Also, we announced a fundraiser for the Therapy Without a Degree TV show, right? So we're working on that. We're in production. So we're going to be hopefully releasing it by the fall. And so far, the fundraiser has been really, really good. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has donated towards it. For real, like, some of you really, 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 really surprised me. Like, I did not think. So thank you very
Hey,
much.
so where are you doing the fundraiser?
I had the link right on my website. So the link is right on there. It's a fundraiser towards the production, basically so we could pay the cast, pay the crew, makeup, all that fun stuff, just so we could finish the first season. So we're taking our pod and we're transforming it into a TV show.
Yeah, and I saw that idea. It's super dope. Why aren't you guys
Thank you.
doing like a what is it called? The one where you fundraise crowd fund.
The crowdfunding, like the websites.
Yeah.
Honestly, they take a good percentage. So I was like, they take a decent amount. So I figured, why not just create my own thing? Like I was gonna do
Indiegogo's
that.
pretty good though.
Which one?
Indiegogo.
That's the one I was gonna do.
Yeah, and they take a lot.
It was a
They've changed
decent.
over the
I don't
years.
know.
Yeah, theirs is not as bad as the other one, which is what's the other one that everybody always talks about?
There was a
But anywho,
bunch.
I say all of that to say, it's good for exposure as well as getting like sponsorships and things to that effect. So while they may take a portion in the beginning of it, it's good for just the long term over. There's benefits. I'm just going to put it like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing both, like to
You
have
should.
both options.
You should.
My question is, maybe you actually know, is that actually what my partner with Zane said is, do you have access to the funds if you don't hit the goal?
So I don't think so. I think you actually have to hit the goal, and I think it just gets refunded, I believe, but I need to double check.
That was, I
here's the
just
thing,
remembered.
though.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, if you do hit the goal and if you get close, even if you just get close to the goal, they'll push you out to their email list. You will hit your goal
So
once they
you get
push you out
close.
to their email list.
Okay.
So as long as you can get close to the goal, so I mean, to be honest with you, and we'll give you guys a little hack, if you can make the goal like 5,000, right? Or, something low, 10,000, if you want to just push it. Right. But then you also put in those little membership elements where people can subscribe for like $2 or $5, something that's easy to get, up there. They'll push you out to their email list. That's worth its weight.
Okay.
Because then you'll get people DMing you, emailing you, wanting to get involved, all that good stuff. So anyway, we can talk offline about the strategy behind that. But
that's dope.
Believe me, what you want to do is get pushed out to their email list.
Okay, powerful. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that because I forgot until we were just here talking about it. Those are the reasons, but that's powerful. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. But thank you so much for coming on. It's been
Thanks
dope.
for having me.
We definitely need a part 2. All right, we're gonna need a part 2, maybe in person. I'm thinking about going to Cali in February or March, or maybe if you're down. If not, we do more virtual. I'm with it either way. Let me know.
If California is open, then I'm open. But yeah, check to make sure California is open because we've been closed.
You're still closed, yeah. Are they letting people fly in, or?
I believe they are, but you can't go nowhere. Like
Can't
everything's
do nothing, right?
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
And
people are still having parties, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, we shall see. But it has been fun. Thank you so much, everyone. Go follow her now. All right. It has been real. Therapy Without a Degree. We out.
Peace.
Peace.
Wishing you wellness in life and in business, as I always say.
Yes.